shine on a cloudy day. Yes, bless, find that shine on a cloudy day. That's what we're doing this morning. We're talking about the morning motivation. That's right, I got my motivation right here. It's your boy Marky Saints Addiction, the LVOG. We're going to get into it. And this morning, we're talking about your nature. What's in your nature? And it's something that I think everyone says often, but doesn't really calculate. And they just there you go. Now it's live. I flipped it. Maybe because if I flip it closer to the router, it'll be like, yeah. So let's just get it. Frontal leaf, billionaire blunt. Get your billionaire blunt on every morning. Monkey tail. You got to be sponsored by some of these people. LVOG. Let's get it how I live, shall we? Push it to the limit. Oh, and we also got our bash trays. So if you ever get a chance to bash your tray, boom, boom, you got a glass piece. That's the glass. It's not a glass tray. It's a bash tray. There you go. Okay, perfect. So now that I'm on a angle, things a little weird here. My OCD's kicking in. Hold up. I want it to be. Here's what happens in life, and then we can all get into it and talk real. So, in our lives, right? We're going to be challenged on what's in our nature, and I've said it many times. Boom, boom. You've said it many times too. Probably you said it multiple times. You probably said, "Oh, that's not in my nature," and to know one's nature, I think, is huge. I mean, I've been reading the laws of human nature, but your nature, your style, the way you were raised up, the way you respond, the whole bit from your environment to your parents to who you are, shout so loudly I can't even hear you. The external, the mask, the the burps. That's that morning juice, that motivated juice. I can't wait to make my own and put it in glass jars and get everybody motivated off the nature and off the fruits and vegetables together. Tastes great, feels great. Anyway, here we go. So we're in life and we have our own system. We created this system where we were young and we said this is what survives me. This is how I get past my dad's anger. This is how I get past my mom's indifference. This is how I cope. And in our coping mechanisms, we develop our self nature. We develop a system, another system that we abide by. And it doesn't matter what's happening in our world, whether it be work, relationships, or stress, we react a certain way. And in that certain way, in that certainty that we are picking the best way to react, we are just acting, right? It's a reaction. It's not just a what's the word I want to use for this? I want to say it's a what do you do when you're pre-planning something? What do you do when you're this is your mo, your mode of operandi? It's your thing that you do. I want to call it not repetition. I don't want to call it that. I'm losing a word here. Let's bless up and see if I can't jog my memory on what I want to really say because words have power. And thanks to my friend Audrey, I was just on the phone with her this morning, man. She's like, you got away with words. I'm like, I'm just repeating what I learned. It wasn't me, it was Terry Prince. Uh-huh. My social my spiritual mentor. And I needed one. And he's a love teacher, and he's way more loving than me because that's in his nature. In my nature, I'm an aggressor. I'm not exactly a pacifist. I'm more of a handle this. And there's some people that will be like, I can't handle that. That's too much pressure, too much responsibility for me. Get away from me. I don't want to deal with it. And that's probably true too, But that's what we do. We do all these things and then some. And then we wonder why we are in the situations that we're in. And it's just like, that's in your nature. Your nature taught you to respond to people certain types of way. Your nature had taught you that, when you're attacked, that you can be an attacker or an aggressor or a folder or a runner fight, freeze, or fight, flight, fright, or freeze, the three. And the choices are ours, but we go through our natural cycles, we get into our rhythms, and we don't know any other different way. And what I've been trying to learn is a different way. I can't be the aggressor anymore. I can't be the egotistical narcissist that I've been. I need to really recognize that it's through people. That's how we get to people, is through people. And then I used to say through you, over you, under you. I'll always find a way, you know. I'm not talking about that kind of energy anymore. That's just force. I mean, you can almost force anyone to do anything that you want to do, but comply, but be happy about what they're doing. And me as an older brother, I didn't give a fuck if my little brother was happy about doing the dishes. He better go do the fucking dishes. And I have to do the dishes. I gotta pick up. I gotta do things too. What makes him to sit there, watch TV, being a dick to me, talking shit back, bro? Boom, dead leg. Now my brother doesn't trust me. Now he's crying. Now he's gonna do everything but the fucking dishes. And that was the whole plan in the first place. True story, and it happened often and with my other siblings. And it didn't dawn on me then because my nature was still to be an aggressor. My job was just to get the job done. It didn't matter how I got it done, didn't matter how you felt after, I just get jobs done. And in that attitude, it kind of obliges me, right? It kind of gives away my culpability, right? I'm just trying to get the work done. You know, I can treat anybody the way I want to. I'm the manager. My job's about touchdowns, and as long as I get the touchdowns, I get the pay raises, and we won't have these discrepancies. And that's what's happening is I'm having a discrepancy with my nature, my natural responses to people. And it turned out that I had to adjust it, and not in a way where I was like everybody like me. It was me to understand them and who I'm dealing with. Bless up. Let's go. And how many of us have done that? How many of us have done that and go like, how? Why did I do that? Why is that in my nature? Why is every time I get close to somebody, I feel like I'm too vulnerable and I shut them off? Why is it that when the chips fall down, I get aggressive and I have to fight back? What's in it inside of me that makes this my nature? And I had to learn that about myself. You can go learn it too. You know, I mean, most people don't spend that much time on themselves. They spend more time trying to gain more money, thinking that that's going to gain more knowledge, and as long as they have power, they can use it, or no one can use it against them. And the truth is like unless you have the power here, it doesn't matter how much money you have. You can always get outplayed by somebody. The history's covered with people that spent money on things that they didn't want. I was literally looking at the first Ponzi scheme, you know, and it was more than just the Holland tulips. It was another guy, and he was promising big returns, and Sir Isaac Newton bought in and he got out, and then he got even more jealous and he said, I can calculate the stars, the movement of the planets by math, and you're over here, I can't understand my own human nature. I can't understand what makes me tick and why I do the things that I do. I don't know. You know, and that's like there's so many trap doors in our brains. I kept saying I am a house, you know, just like the movie or the TV miniseries or the Netflix series you get a chance to watch, Freud. He's like, I am a house, and in this house, certain rooms are lit up and certain rooms are dark, and there's certain rooms of our nature that are so dark that we don't want to visit. We'll have too much shame in it. We're all dressed up crackheads. It doesn't matter. I got 5 billion followers. You know, it doesn't matter about my character. Character, not circumstance, defines the human. You know, and that's what's going to happen. Is like I'm trying to do character training here in the morning. I'm trying to be a better, not just character, but a better human being. Like I said, the GOAT, the greatest human of all time. You know, we could be the GHOAT. We could try to, because no one's perfect. We can attempt to bring out the best nature in ourselves because it's in us. You know, it's the dichotomy of us. I mean, there's going to be times where, you know, there's going to be some running of the bulls and you're going to have to let the bull out. And I tell people that, you know, that's what's so creative about the Taurus is we're charming on the outside. Oh, wow, he's got straight teeth. He's got a great beard. He talks eloquently. No way was he yelling at his wife in the fucking park trying to get her out of a fucking car. Yeah, dude. No way did he beat his siblings when he was younger. Yeah, dude. And yeah, not very successful in relationships. Let me first knock the narcissism off so I can get to my nature, so I can get to the core of what I am and why I am. And I don't think a lot of people do that. They just like just be you and just be you, right? Everybody kind of has that phrase, just be you. Well, me, if it's all about me, I ignore you. I ignore the outcome. I ignore the way you feel. I ignore all of that and just it's just me. And she didn't get my personality, or he didn't get my jokes, or they're too thin skinned. True, all of that stuff's still true, but you didn't have to be that way to them. And that's what it just started to occur to me. It was just like, sure, I got my pop off. Sure, I told them and clapped back, and then that was right on point. But for sure, I lost trust. Almost impossible to get back. Easy to lose, hard to keep. I lost my reputation, because now they're gonna be like, that boy Marky Saint. He's really an asshole. He's not a saint. He's an ain't. Don't hang out with him. He's narcissistic, and he's always gonna say some shit out of the side of his mouth. True story, bro. I don't know what it is. I don't think that I'm being flippant, but I was raised with a mouth from the South, and if I feel the need, if anybody wants to be critical, they can get a slice, and I'm your Huckleberry. I was a Huckleberry too much. I got my ass into the drama. I got my ass into the buzz. I got to figure out what makes me get a buzz off of this. This self-examination of, why do I do the things that I do, and what do I get out of it for doing it? What's the whole purpose? It smells like rain. One more. Alive. And that's what it came down to. The other guy was doing these metrics of how much money I made instead of how happy I am. How much do I have instead of making the things that I have work for me? How awesome can I be instead of you got to deal with me? And it's on all of us. You don't know it. You probably got a bad mood, you got an argument with your boyfriend, went to McDonald's, and then start chewing out the chick because of it. I've been there, not necessarily yelling at somebody at McDonald's, but the wrong person getting the clap back, the wrong person getting the love, the wrong person getting the attention, the money, the energy, the attention, and the time, my meat. Everybody's got to get some meat, money, energy, attention, time. Where are you putting your meat? Where are you sticking your meat at? Dry aging it probably. And that's something I didn't want to do. Didn't want to just sit and let things happen. I wanted to be a part of it. I wanted to be a part of the change and actually make the decision so I can get the healing for myself. The selfish reason, another narcissistic reason, but to stop hurting others too. There's some altruism to it. There's this situation where I just feel more of an angel, more of a saint, more of a helper, more of that kind of role than the devil, than the aggressor, than the asshole. And I've been both roles my whole life and tended to be the negative stuff more than anything. I was too defensive. I couldn't take any criticism. I didn't like it. I felt it was out of place. I felt that that's not how I would handle things. Just like I told my friend, we don't get to really hang out that much anymore, because she was like, get over it. And when I lost my child, because of me, I know when I fucked up. Seeing that was cool about seeing that about Shaq this morning. He was like, I know when I fucked up. You can have a 75,000 square foot room, but nobody's in it. The kids are gone. Wife is gone. You feel that. You feel that absence of life, that absence that makes you feel better. You can have all the money in the world. You can have the biggest mansion in the world. You can be the biggest dude in the world. You're still going to need somebody to play well with. I don't know who you're playing with. I don't know who you dive into, or who's your buddy. Who's your little sandbox buddy, And sometimes you can't be even, you got to play nice in the sandbox, I've been just dominating the sandbox, like kicking other people's castles over, get the fuck away from me, and soon I had plenty of people away from me. Soon I was all by myself in the corner, playing by myself, created this whole world that I was supposed to be happy by myself, and for the most part I was pretty happy. Like, some of us can handle, just being alone, but it's also, enough's enough. I gotta share the whole fucking sandbox, man. I'm not the only kid in the world. There's other kids that want to play, and we need to learn how to play well together. And not just as kids, but as adults too, most importantly. It's not enough to have a kid mentality. It's not enough to just keep going through the way with your natural way, the way you are. You know what I mean? It's the way you choose to be. We've heard that cliche before. It's the way I choose to be. It's my attitude. I don't know. Attitude, determines altitude. Sure, this is true, But it's also like, what are we concentrating on? Where's our diet at? Where's our goals at? Where are our values at? You know, it's like, what are your really core values, and are you chasing them? Or are you just chasing clout so you can get a blue check next to your mark on Instagram so you can make people jealous? Some people get off on that sauce. That girl I was trying to date in Brazil, she just like making people jealous, but she didn't like making herself happy. Her whole thing was to just have all the gay dudes come in the hotel, make up her hair, walk around, do a full on photo shoot. It was nothing to do with me at all. I totally disappeared. And I hate that feeling. You know, when I'm on the couch, I'm at your house, and you want to just walk past me like I don't even exist, like I'm just part of the couch. Oh, hell no. And it fucked with me and my ex. So it's just like, listen, you're not going to stonewall me. You're not going to ignore me. I will not be ignored. She started burning the fucking rabbit. Meryl Streep. In case you guys don't know, go see it. Michael Douglas. But yeah, I will not be ignored, Jim. I will not be ignored by people. I will not be uh, backline and sideline. It happens in business. It happens in life. And sometimes I won't be front teat. I'll be hind teat. And as much as I like to battle and be the center of attention, it's okay to not be the center of attention. It's okay to put the center of attention on other people. Let them feel heard. I've said this before, but it just kind of just doesn't sink in. I guess my narcissism just won't let it in. And somebody else commented below saying something like that. My empathy's so low because my narcissism won't allow it. And then it's like, but my nature will. I am empathetic. I don't like not having a relationship with my siblings. I'd like to have a full on dynamic that we're all a fucking team, a fucking Voltron that comes together and creates a sword. It's my dream, but it's so far away because they will trust me. They know that every time they get close to me, I'm going to be violent. That's what they learned because that's what I taught them. What are we teaching people about ourselves? What are we leaving them with? This is an eye-opening experience, but in this art of nature, especially the art of seduction, and you can guys get the fucking audiobooks for free too on YouTube. My other phone's dead, dying, it's recharging, but you know, when we're really about ourselves, we tend to play only by ourselves, you know, and we live only in our worlds, listening only our voice, and this compass inside of our brains leading us to places mostly out of emotion, like it's drawing us to a magnetic north instead of a internal center. How am I feeling? So I don't take it out on this other individual. You can put yourself on timeouts too, you know. And most people do it when they're out there climbing or hiking or taking the weekend and just letting off steam is what we call it, you know. But I don't have any steam to let off. I've kind of let it off on all people. I kind of made them responsible for my happiness, and if I wasn't happy, they were getting a slice of it. It's the reason I just lost my best friend. He's down there in Brazil, and he doesn't want to be a friend with me anymore. Too narcissistic. I was too abusive to him. You know, I roughed him up. I wanted him to be tough, and I wanted him to switch his character, his nature. You know, he's so nice and beta. He would never stick up for himself, and it bugged me. You know, that he's not like me, but that's how perfectionists are. We want our friends to be just like us. You know, be grateful, say thank yous, be polite in public. You know what I mean? And then we'll have friends that aren't that way, and we're just like, how is that possible? How did you get into my circle if you're so abusive, if you're so nasty? And it's like, that's all of us, dude. All of us, the ugly truth. And that's what I wanted. I wanted warts and all. And it's hard to mention warts when you're talking about beauty. You know, everybody wants the external. As long as I'm pretty, it's like, that's all you did? Just get pretty and open your legs? That's the value you add to relationships? What about lifting somebody up? Seriously, what about being a partner with somebody? What about buying into yourself? Let me tell you about 50 Cent. They take up the vitamin water. Yep. And vitamin water's on about it. And they're like, yo, we need a new 50 Cent flavor. And he's looking at all these. He's like, yo, want to hit the urban market? And they're like, yes. And he's like, where's your grape flavor? Black people love grape flavor. Where's your grape flavor? Cool, we're going to make a grape for you. All right, bet. But I'm going to put 50 grand down right now and I'm going to buy in to your business. I want 10% cut. I don't want to just give the idea away. I want to be a part of the idea. You know what I mean? I don't want to just lift somebody else up. I want to be with them lifting. You know, it's a difference between say, hey, lift up that couch and then being on the other end of the couch lifting. There's a difference about wanting to lead the other person, not criticized, not judged, and not ass eaten out, right? Chewing their asses out. Like motherfuckers be chewing ass. Man, shouldn't be chewing people out at all. I get so critical. I get so domineering, and that was my leadership skills, or at least what I thought was leadership skills. My ex, before we broke up, she said, "You're horrible at explaining things." I'm like, "I do this show every morning. How dare you? I'm a teacher. How dare you?" To her, what she meant was like, "You losing patience with me too fast, and I don't understand what you're saying." But I was so hurt by what she was saying, I stopped listening. I became too brittle. And for somebody that wants to have power, someone that wants to be narcissistic, somebody that wants to be cool, someone who wants to start his own labels and thinks he's cool, that was super uncool. I became uncool. And that sucked. That my nature uncooled me. That's something I've been trying to get and try harder and be better. And now all of a sudden, I'm the one drilling holes in my own canoe. It's been that way, bro. And anybody else can say it for reals down below. This is that what's in your nature talk I've been talking about this morning. What's in your nature, man? Part of my insecurity would have me sabotage things. Because if I really put some super responsibility on myself and say how many hours have I put into this, a lot. How many more can I put into it, a lot. You know, and my stepdad said if you stopped smoking weed, you would have paid me back by now. True. You know, it hurts when it's true, right? The lady said it. She's a psychologist. She's a trauma psychologist that I've been watching, and saying that she was embarrassed to do this show. She knew people would crucify her, what kind of hate she got, but most she got love. And she was shocked that the community sent her so much love when she talked about tough stuff. Like always talking about trauma. Like that's not exactly healthy. Yeah, for the first 6 months, 1 year, people know it hurts, right? You're gonna want to fucking do something. You're gonna want to get it off your chest. I've been talking about my abortion for the last 6 months, but this is not an abortion show. There's a time and place for all things and levels to it too. Who are you sharing it with? Me, I share it with the world. I'm an open book. I felt that people would bond to it. I think they would get the truth of it instead of a TV show where everything's cut and you try to make it perfect. It's like this is perfectly imperfect. This is Saint's addiction. He's not perfect. He's flawed, and I am super flawed. I am so flawed, and I have to admit it rapidly. You know, rapid honesty, and that's something else that I've been practicing. They call it radical honesty. I didn't even know that till last night. But terminology, mentality, the energy, you know, like the energy we're putting behind each other. Imagine how many more friends you'd have instead of just sharing your own selfies. The narcissism is real in our society. We're taught to push ourselves. Did you catch that? Did you catch that photo or video of me being awesome? Can you send it to me? Airdrop it to me. Thirsty as fuck, man. I couldn't believe it after the fire show. They were just like chasing me around. I'm like, get the fuck away from me, man. I don't have to do shit with this video. You're not gonna force me to do anything. And they were like, whoa. And I'm like, yeah, whoa, back it up, bro. You're not gonna tell me, give it to me, airdrop it to me. And then the other one said, give it to me, airdrop it to me, give it to me, airdrop it to me. I'm only nice to you because you have something for me. That's for me. It's about me. That's the only reason I'm in front of you. And then as soon as I'm back to my bitch mode and I've totally ignored you. That's why I'm not really worried about giving you this video right now. Because you weren't really worried about me before I took the video. But that's what thirsty motherfuckers look like. As long as it's about me and it's exciting, at least I'm the star of the show, I'm fun, I can dominate the conversation, I can keep the conversation going. At least I thought. I thought I was always keeping conversations going. I thought I was really good at it, and turned out I was cutting people off. I was making it about myself, and I wasn't letting people feel heard. And if you really want to rule the world, straight up, understand everyone. That's the morning motivation right there. Understand everyone, bro. Seriously, if you start dealing with people on a level where you're not just hearing the words and reacting to them, now you're like, who am I dealing with? I'm dealing with the person that's been working all day. You know, I've been dealing with somebody that's under a lot of pressure. I have somebody that's egotistical. I got somebody that's reserved, and accordingly adjust it. Almost like artillery, you wouldn't just drop the bombs anywhere. You kind of need a crosshairs and how the wind's coming. And before you drop bombs, step back. It's gonna be huge for me. to be able to step back and not fire back, not right from my hip instead of right from my eye. Just putting out there, you know what I mean? Like there's so much shooting from the hip, there's so much reactionary speed. We got it right in front of us. The stimulus is right in front of us, pops right up. I contradict that. I want to respond back. I mean, I never got so much clapback to when I talk about tough subjects like gun reform or abortion or any of those other things. All of a sudden, I'm not just passive, I'm aggressive. And you feel the people switch that energy, that me, that being able to assimilate that strength of the mob, if you will, the mob mentality. And that was the thing that I was just like, okay, notice when it's a mob, notice when the flows against you. Sometimes it just can't just be you. It'll take the river, the rocks with it. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like Mother Nature wins always. And we're just momentarily here. You know what I'm saying? It's only one earthquake, one fire, and one flood away from not existing. And all three are always happening all the time on this planet. So live in the now, but live better. You know, make your now better. Be able to come to people better. And with the end in mind, you know, like I'm coming to talk to this person because I care about this person, I love this person, and I want them to feel loved. I'm gonna self journal it. This is something you can't post on Facebook. This is something you can't tweet. Hi, I'm gonna go over to my girlfriend's house so she feels loved. Now we just end up showing up. I mean, that's what ends up testing us the most is love. You know, like it's the ultimate of like the self sacrifice. Oh, let me make you a lunch so you can feel better. I mean, almost love everyone. I know I'm sounding like my fucking love teacher. Just love, you know, love, period. You know, just everything's love, and love is the answer, and love is the most powerful force in the universe, and love, 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 love on shirts. Cool, bro. I don't feel very loved, so I didn't love back. And I didn't care if I talked with love, I was just gonna talk smack. And I made that rhyme because I do rhyme in motivation on time, every day. This is what I do. It's how my mind works. I think it just flows naturally. But that's it. This is my nature. This is in my style. This is what I do, you know? Like my thing, my design. You know, like I designed this, believe it or not. Yeah, out of my head. How it looks like a real thing. And sometimes I stare at things. My friend's got a tattoo stare. Is that me? Is that me treating them right? Is that me being the better me? Is that me motivating myself? Do you get what I mean? Like, am I sitting? Am I stalling? Or am I installing? Am I motivated? Am I getting myself into the game? That's where the motivated juice comes from. Motivated and motivated juice. You know, we got the natural juice and then we got the stuff with the CBDs, but this is what I'm talking about. This is the kind of attitude of what am I putting my energy behind? And how do I deliver this energy? Most of us are delivering nervous energy so that we just cover it up with alcohol or something else and numb ourselves. Most of us don't even like ourselves. I wanted to be myself. And I was being a little too much of myself. I needed to be about others. Be of service. Me, I could just be. I'm just be. I'm gonna control the outcome, the haircut, the sunglasses, the backpack, the logo. Everything has to run through me. Thank you, Mr. Energy. No more of that kind of peace.